I'm meteorologist Nicholas Herboso for this edition of Next Weather. We're gearing up for hurricane season, and on May 15th, which is this Friday, the Eastern Pacific hurricane season. So our neighbors to the west, other side of Mexico, their hurricane season starts on May 15th. Now, the Atlantic hurricane season does not start until June 1st officially. However, another note is that the tropical weather outlooks issued by the National Hurricane Center, this is the graphics that we often show during hurricane season, those will start on the 15th as well. So we're really getting into gear as we head into hurricane season. I want to talk about the Eastern Pacific real quick. They typically see more tropical cyclones, about average one more tropical cyclone than the Atlantic basin does. The impact zones are Hawaii and Mexico. That's where the storms hit. And you can see the list there. They are Spanish leaning for the most part names here. But that's the Eastern Pacific hurricane season. It does begin tomorrow, so it's a real sign that we're getting closer and closer to our Atlantic season here. This is the last tropical weather outlook that was issued by the National Hurricane Center. That was issued 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday, November 30th of 2025. And it reads, this is the last regularly scheduled TWO of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season. Routine issuance of the tropical weather outlook will resume on May 15th, 2026. And of course, during the off seasons, they do special tropical weather outlooks as conditions warrant, but we did not really have any of those in the Atlantic this season. So that is the last one that we have. So we're getting into gear. Speaking of gear and speaking of season, let's talk about the season forecast. Now, I'm showing you the season forecast for the Eastern Pacific. We're starting there because this tells the tale of what's going on. So you see their averages, 15, 8, and 4 is the average for the Eastern Pacific for named storms and hurricanes and major hurricanes. You see the forecast, this is from Mexico, their meteorological agency, 18 to 21 named storms, 9 to 11 hurricanes, 4 to 5 major hurricanes. That is higher than average. That is an above average season forecast. And the reason for that is simply because we're going to have an El Nino. And the El Nino creates lower wind shear in the Eastern Pacific and more storms. And the El Nino in the Atlantic creates higher wind shear and fewer storms. And I think that will have a significant impact on this hurricane season because it looks like it's going to be a strong El Nino. So we're expecting possibly significantly more wind shear in the Atlantic basin, and that could lower our storm count, but it could raise the storm count in the Eastern Pacific. Here is the season forecast from Colorado State University, and you can see this is for the Atlantic basin now, 14 versus 13. So slightly below average for our season forecast. Now, that means absolutely nothing, because it only takes one storm hitting your location to bring you impacts. Everybody says that, and it is so true. It only takes one storm. So despite the fact that we're expecting few less storms that we've had previous years, does not change anything on how we prepare for the season. Here are the storm names for the season. I also want to note Hurricane Sally returns. It may not be hurricane next time, it may not even happen this year, but Sally is back on the list. It was not retired, and I think a lot of people realize that and have noticed that. But yes, we posted about it on social media. Sally is back on the list. It was not retired. Once again, the tropical weather outlooks will resume tomorrow. This is similar to the graphic that you will see if you had the Fox 10 weather app. On the Fox 10 weather app, we release the tropical weather outlook beginning on May 15th, and it runs every few hours. The graphic updates, the tropical weather outlook updates at different times, but this is going to be a constantly updated thing available on the Fox 10 weather app, so be sure to check it out there. It's that time of season. We're getting closer and closer to hurricane season, and we are preparing you here at Fox 10 for hurricane season 2026. We will have much more throughout the hurricane season. Be sure to stay with us on Fox 10 for all of your tropical weather updates. Be on the lookout for our hurricane special, Storm Ready 2026. That'll happen in early June. Otherwise, we will have your forecast updates as we regularly do on Fox 10. Be sure to tune in.